Well, her name's Rock Chalk. She's the talk of the town. We're the German Shepherd duo, always sniffing around. Smith and Wesson by her side, they ain't just for show. They're the muscle when she's hustling, solving crime on the go. She's got her boots in the dirt, she's cracking the case. A true crime queen with a smirk on her face. Loves her country rap bumping, got that twang and that beat. You mess around with her, you're in for a treat. Oh, F-A-F-O, better watch your step. Rock Chalk's on the scene, she'll clean up your mess. With her dogs and her charm, she'll track you down slow. Oh, F-A-F-O, yeah, you reap what you sow. She's got a badge and a sassy attitude to boot. Kicks down doors like she's in hot pursuit. Smith and Wesson bark, don't you dare run. She's the queen of the scene, yeah, she gets it done. Country rap on the radio, she's cruising the street. From the city to the sticks, she's the one to meet. Her motto's real simple, don't try no bluff. Mess around all you want, but you'll find out quick enough. Whoa, F-A-F-O, better watch your step. Rock Chalk's on the scene, she'll clean up your mess. With her dogs and her charm, she'll track you down slow. Oh, F-A-F-O, yeah, you reap what you sow. She's got cowboy boots and a badge of steel. With a heart of gold and nerves unreal. You thought you could hide, but she's always in the know. Now you're caught, son, F-A-F-O. So here's the Rock Chalk and her Shepherd crew. Smith and Wesson got her back and they're coming for you. Country rap in her veins, she's the queen of the scene. F-A-F-O is her motto, and she's living the dream. Rock Chalk out. Hey! She's got cowboy boots and a badge of steel. With a heart of gold and nerves unreal. You thought you could hide, but she's always in the know. Now you're caught, son, F-A-F-O. So here's the Rock Chalk and her Shepherd crew. Smith and Wesson got her back and they're coming for you. Country rap in her veins, she's the queen of the scene. F-A-F-O is her motto, she's living the dream. Rock Chalk out.
How is everybody? How's everybody doing? Hopefully you're doing good. It's Tuesday. Just came in to do a little chatting. Going to try to go live every Tuesday and Thursday. When I went to get on the StreamYard, it said my account had been suspended with YouTube. So, Christopher, it's saying device not connected. I see you there. Let's see if it'll still... I can see you there, but it says device not connected, Christopher. I don't know what's going on. It says you're authenticated with YouTube, but it's saying device not connected, so it's not allowing me to connect you. Maybe try again. Keep trying. I'm going to play a thing that, an article that was written in the Oklahoma Watch. It has to do with one of the assistant prosecutors' family there in Guyman. His family owns the bail bonds, the only bail bonds there. Well, we're going to play it. Christopher, I'll drop the link again. I don't know what's going on, but it does say device not connected. So we'll try to fix that and get Christopher up here while you guys pay attention to this. Let me bring it up. It sounds kind of boring when they're reading it, but it is interesting. It'll get to it.
DIY justice. In the Panhandle, you might have to defend yourself. Trina Moser broke bad. Moser moved to Guyman from Texas when she was 25 years old to work at Seaboard Foods, the controversial hog slaughtering plant on the edge of town that by some accounts rebuilt the Panhandle economy. She didn't last long. I couldn't handle the pigs everywhere, Moser said. She went on to work serially at a doctor's office, the telephone company, a local attorney's office, as a roll-off truck dispatcher for the Seward County landfill, and finally for a property management firm. Interspersed with all that, she got married and became the spitting image of an Oklahoman suburban mom with 4 children. They're all really good kids, despite their mother, Moser said. What she meant was that after a pair of traumas, she turned to selling methamphetamine. I'd gone through a divorce, I'd lost my job, Moser said. I shouldn't have messed with drugs. It was a fast, easy way to make money. She wasn't any kind of kingpin, and like the pigs, it didn't last. Moser was arrested after making several sales to undercover law enforcement officers. She got a lawyer, copped to the crime, and accepted a plea deal to accept her fate. Then it got weird. In the months to come, Moser would be arrested twice more for embezzlement, a crime she denies. Her prosecutor, Assistant District Attorney Taz Smith, threatened to revoke her plea deal on the trafficking charge if she didn't also plead guilty on the embezzlement charges. I can be a lot of things, but I didn't take that money, Moser said. Moser acknowledged that prosecutors frequently revoke plea deals, but that didn't make it right. It may be common, but is it legal? She asked. Common but possibly illegal is perhaps the best way to summarize the execution of justice in remote Oklahoma. And what Moser would learn is that in a corrupt system, you might wind up having to fight to defend yourself. The only bondsman in Texas County. Moser had minor difficulties with the law in the past, debt issues, and bounced checks. But she also had a do-gooder streak, as evidenced by a still-pending whistleblower case in which she unveiled wrongdoing in her job as a landfill dispatcher, and by once taking in an aging woman who was suffering abuse at the hands of her family, Moser said. The latter episode resulted in Moser inheriting a modest bit of farmland on the edge of Guyman. It was a mixed blessing because there were expenses and work required to clear the land, and that work was what resulted in Moser falling into the orbit of a drug dealer. Subsequently, Moser explained, it was the granddaughter of the aging woman she cared for who set her up to sell drugs to undercover agents of the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics. Moser never actually possessed the drugs she sold, she said, but remotely arranged sales and pickup. It was my first offense, Moser said. I didn't even know how much the drugs should weigh. The first evidence of peculiarity in Moser's story was a $75,000 bond for a first-time trafficking charge of small amounts of meth. Even the bondsman, Tina Smith of A1 Tony's Bail Bonds in Guyman, the only bondsman in Texas County, said the bond seemed high for the crime, Moser said. The website of A1 Tony's Bail Bonds claims the organization was founded in 1998 by Tina Smith's husband, Tony Smith, who in 2017 self-published a book reflecting on his earlier career as a bounty hunter entitled Kickin' Doors and Slappin' Whores: Tales of a Cowboy Bounty Hunter. That's not the strange part. What was odd was that Moser's prosecutor, Taz Smith, was the son of Tina and Tony Smith. Awkward conflicts of interest are common in small towns. The first judge assigned to Moser's case was forced to recuse because he'd been the attorney Moser worked for before he was elected to the bench. Frequency does not make conflicts of interest legal. When it comes to bondsmen, Oklahoma law is not much help. Title 59 specifies that marriage or cohabitation of a bondsman to individuals prohibited from becoming bondsmen, judges, police officers, and others, does not by itself indicate a conflict of interest. The law is silent on other family relations. What is statutorily enshrined is the ability of the Oklahoma Insurance Department Commissioner to exercise discretion in determining when an actionable conflict of interest exists. Current Insurance Commissioner Glenn Mulready refused to comment on whether the department had received complaints about high bond amounts in District 1 and the parent-child relationship between the lone bondsman in Texas County and the ADA. Oklahoma Watch then formally requested those records, but has not received them. By way of contrast, the Justice Department offers clear guidelines that forbid government employees from participating in matters that might impute to them financial gain. Participating in a prosecution is prohibited when the employee has a specific and substantial interest that would be directly affected by the outcome. Or, as Trina Moser put it when she eventually filed a motion in her own defense, the prosecutor's family benefits financially from Ms. Moser's ongoing prosecution. It's all about that money. Money may be the motive behind every aspect of Moser's prosecution, and for that matter, behind every drug prosecution in the Panhandle. After she agreed to a plea deal, embezzlement charges were brought when Moser turned over a file from her then-current job, containing several $1,000s. The file remained in police possession, untracked for days, Moser said. Moser suspected that the money had little to do with what the police really wanted. A common theme in the tips that Oklahoma Watch received in response to its Justice in No Man's Land series is accounts of clumsy efforts on the part of law enforcement to recruit confidential informants. That is, to coerce Panhandle residents to turn on each other. Billy Green, featured in the second story of the Justice in No Man's Land series, recalled having his home raided for incriminating items such as a dartboard, a Wile E. Coyote mirror, and a ceramic cow skull, only to have police attempt to compel him to make undercover drug purchases. Problem: 19-year-old Green didn't know any drug dealers. He was hit with a $45,000 bond for a first-time charge of knowingly concealing stolen property. More troublingly, Brittany Sanchez, whose harrowing narrative will be featured in a future installment in the Justice in No Man's Land series, recalled an arrest she described as bogus for fraudulent check writing when she was 9 months pregnant with her first child. The true goal of the arrest, Sanchez said, was to track down the man whom police believed to be the father of her baby. Problem: the father was another man entirely, and Sanchez wound up delivering her baby while she was shackled to a hospital bed. Thomas Toka, who was a drug dealer in the Panhandle for a time, recounted numerous experiences with a complex system of recruiting informants in Texas County. Toka's own friends had been coerced into turning on him. Even a judge once expected him to provide evidence to police, Toka said. In court, his judge told him, "We're just waiting on you to do your part." Toka's story, too, will be recounted in a future article. After multiple prison stints, he is now years removed from his time on probation, but continues to suffer harassment at the hands of local police, he said. The fact that I didn't turn informant could explain why I am treated the way I am treated, Toka said. Toka is a quiet, charismatic, and thoughtful man who likened the system of informant recruitment in the Panhandle to a kind of speed trap. Local law enforcement doesn't want you in prison, he said, because if you're in prison, you're not paying the kinds of fees and fines that are now being re-examined in Oklahoma. Prosecutors aim for plea bargains with long periods of probation, Toka said. It's all about money, Toka said. It's all about getting money to the municipality. It's revenue for the county. Snitch and forfeiture mills. What the police really wanted from Moser was for her to make drug purchases undercover, she said. She tried. She tried again and again, but Guymon is a small town, and no one trusted her. Her plea deal was withdrawn, and she was hit with embezzlement charges because she couldn't give police what they wanted, Moser said. Moser went into debt to her boyfriend and his mother to cover additional bonds on the embezzlement charges. She was left unable to pay the attorney she'd hired for the trafficking charge to represent her on the new charges. She was forced to turn to Vonda Wilkins of the Oklahoma Indigent Defense System for representation. But once again, the claustrophobic nature of justice in the Panhandle appeared to interfere with the impartial administration of justice. An email from ADA Smith to Wilkins disparaged Moser's version of events on the embezzlement charges and exhibited a surprising chumminess between the prosecutor and the public defender. "I'm tired of Moser screwing both you and me around on this," Smith wrote. Wilkins refused to comment on Moser's case, But former statewide OIDS Executive Director Tim Laughlin largely agreed with TOCA's characterization of how informants are employed, particularly by drug task forces. In my experience over the last 28 years, that's the whole model of task forces going back 30 years, Laughlin said. Drug task forces have operated on a horizontal model, recruiting low-level informants on other low-level offenders, rather than working up the chain of command, functioning effectively as snitch mills and forfeiture mills. A history and a culture of impunity. What Moser wanted was to plead guilty to the crime she had committed and innocent to the crime she denied having committed. In the Panhandle, that appeared to be impossible. No one was on her side, Moser said. On July 17th, Moser visited A1 Tony's bail bonds, after Tina Smith requested that Moser appear to arrange additional bond payments. The real purpose of the meeting was confrontation, Moser said. Smith challenged Moser for having spoken with Oklahoma Watch and for having expressed concern that Smith's son was Moser's prosecutor. Smith threatened Moser with immediate jailing, Moser said. The argument in A1 Tony's offices nearly turned physical, Moser said in a detailed narrative produced immediately following the incident. Tina and Taz Smith refused to comment for this story. After the confrontation, Moser resolved to take matters into her own hands. On July 24th, she submitted a 19-page motion to suppress evidence, a sober and respectful filing documenting numerous irregularities in her case that included a range of supporting evidence and requested relief. The following day, Taz Smith filed a haphazard and meandering response that labeled Moser a drug-dealing thief while she still enjoyed a presumption of innocence, and described her carefully crafted motion as the ramblings of a meth-addicted mind. These remarks are inappropriate, unprofessional, and beneath the dignity of this court, Moser wrote in her response. The final resolution in Moser's case is outstanding. She's ready to pay for the crime she committed, she said, but will continue to fight the charges she denies. Moser doubts whether any particle notion of justice will determine her fate. She fears that she will be persecuted for exercising her right to defend herself by persons who enjoy a long history and a culture of impunity. I just feel like it has a lot to do with their power, Moser said. They just think they can do whatever they want. Editor's note. After Oklahoma Watch published an expose about a multi-million-dollar DA run ticketing scheme in Texas County, we were flooded with tips from the Panhandle. This story is the fourth in a series derived from those tips. The third story can be found here.
All right, there you go. Anyway, Deb C had saw that and she sent it to me, so I played it. Not a lot going on. How's everybody doing? Christopher, I don't know why you can't get up here. I don't know. It says device not connected, so that's what it said. And yes, Journey. I did see where they found that body. That's horrible. Horrible. I was watching Lou. It seems like a lot of creators was covering that today, the Jaden Spicer. Sad. Tiny Tots had to get back to work. Like I said, I was 5 minutes late because for some reason my StreamYard had lost connect with the YouTube channel. So we got it fixed. I'm not being security cleared. What does that mean? I'm not being security cleared. I don't know what that means. It don't give me something to clear you. Wish it did, but it don't. Let's see here. Hopefully this week we can get a lot of stuff done this week. Hopefully everybody's having a good summer. Summer's almost over. It's almost done. All the kids going back to school. Summer went quick. Definitely went quick. Sorry, I was listening to something. Christopher thinks you need a bodyguard where you live. Listen, I think anybody on YouTube needs a bodyguard. It's crazy. YouTube's crazy. I have no idea. Asked me to sign in with Google and not allowing me. It's okay. I just harass from comments. I don't understand, because I thought anybody could jump up. I mean, I wonder if I send it to you. Do you have access to Discord? What if I send it to you that way? I don't know. For what you're digging into. I don't know. There's crazy stuff in the Panhandle that goes on, but I'm sure there's crazy stuff everywhere that goes on. Absolutely. I mean, my gosh, can't even go to Target. I mean, look at the people that got killed at Target. It seems like this world's gone crazy. People, or they just don't care about consequences. Maybe that's it. If they don't care about consequences. Could be. Again, the end of this month, Rango goes to court for his kiddos. Hopefully that all goes well. I believe it's the 28th, August 28th, so we'll follow that and see how that goes. Other than that, I'm not going to stay on live, just checking in. Does anybody got anything to say in the chat? Otherwise, I'll let you go for your evening. We'll come back on Thursday, talk again. Let's see.
Lockjaw family rising up like a storm. Oklahoma, Kansas roots been reborn. Texas fires burned under California skies. OHIO screaming into the night. Smith & Wesson, locked, loaded, they gleam. German Shepherd pups chasing down their dreams. Fire it up from the plains to the hills. Kansas hearts beat wild, unchained by their wills. Smith & Wesson, locked, loaded, they gleam. German Shepherd pups chasing down their dreams. Fire it up from the plains to the hills. Kansas hearts beat wild, unchained by their wills. Devin sing back, I got the mic, could they cry? Mama lost, holds her head in the sky. Mother Valley 420 battled away. Jezebel witch won't be silenced today. Bitter winds howl on the edge of the plains. Dust and struggle carve lives in their veins. Legends whispered in the fields they blaze. Ignite the night, set the world in a craze. Lost and found in the shadow of fight. Family names tattooed in the heart's light. Steel strings screaming under crimson sky.